Hello, and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. Last time, we had a nice little scene with Yuuji, basically reminiscing on his master, and then everything went heel turn into an explosion thing, and bad things are happening to Magina, because the sister was in an explosion. Although hearing of her sister's survival calmed Magina down significantly, the events of yesterday are still painfully fresh in her mind. She shows us a brave attempt at a smile, but can't hide the wariness beneath it. When the girl declares herself uninterested in breakfast, I enlist Sachi's assistance. And together we prepare a unique but nutritious mackerel pumpkin soup from Mane's recipe notebook. Magina refuses the meal, then almost frightened expression on her face, so I proceed to pin her arms behind her back as our reliable mate emotionlessly crams spoonfuls of food into her mouth. Through this admirable display of teamwork, we successfully force-fed the girl the breakfast her body needs. I know it might be a little hard to eat right now, but your injuries won't heal if you don't get adequate nutrients. Sure, whatever you want to call it. But it's from an explosion. You're lucky this time, yes. Just be grateful that explosion didn't give you an afro. Might sound like a joke, but a hot pulse of air from an explosion burns your hair starting from the tip, sometimes curling it pretty dramatically. As a general rule, it's a good idea to brush a hand over your head when a bomb blast goes by. Often as not, cinders that used to be part of your hair will fall off like sesame seeds from a bun. Alright, this is a good opportunity. Why don't I teach you the anti-explosive self-defense procedure? And suddenly you're into this. Okay, interesting. Listen up, Magina. Ever heard some guy in a suit mutter, "It's getting dangerous these days," while looking over the morning paper? Well, that's not just the vapid catchphrase of self-satisfied middle-aged men who think they figured out how the world works. As you were reminded of yesterday, there truly are countless dangers lurking all around us. When such threats arrive, they arrive suddenly, and all too often we are completely unprepared to defend ourselves. Indeed, such complacent carelessness has become an unfortunate element of our national character. This is the very reason Japan has earned the disgraceful title of pacifist patsies among the major powers. Well, I've never been in the military, but I've never heard that one before. Well, thank you for letting me know. Look, kid, even if you're thinking that sort of thing, it's better not to actually say it. Okay, let's try this again. I'll now initiate you in the basics of personal self-defense against explosion. Listen carefully. The fundamental principle is low to the ground. When explosion is coming, get down first and think later. Good, indeed. Go prone and get yourself as flat to the ground as you possibly can. With the exception of some specially designed charges, explosions naturally tend to direct their power upward. If there is a foxhole nearby, claim it. It doesn't matter if it's full to the brim with a mixture of muddy water and excrement. Oh god. It doesn't matter if your buddy's pathetic corpse is lying inside. Jump in without a moment's hesitation. Yeah, you're probably not going to be having many foxholes. After this, assume the anti-explosive position. There's a small flap of cartilage in front of your ear hole called the tragus. Strongly press down on these with your thumb to protect your eardrums. That's a good point. Next, open your mouth wide. This reduces the burden on your eardrums, keeps your lungs from popping like balloons under the pressure of the shock wave. You've experienced for yourself just how powerful that shock wave is, so I'm sure you can understand, but don't underestimate that pressure. When the explosion occurs indoors, it's even more powerful. If you're close to the blast, it's like being squeezed in the hand of a giant. The pain is intense. Sometimes the pressure can push your eyes clean out of their sockets. Oh god, I hope this whole part of it isn't going to make you think of your sister. While pressing the tragus on both of your ears with your thumbs, use the remaining fingers to cover your eyelids. Keep your eyeballs where they belong and defend against the flash of the explosion. Okay. Good. Alright then, next up. We're beginning image training based on hypothetical scenarios. Situation is as follows. Recon mission in subtropical jungle. Time dawn. Your enemies are powerful local guerrillas. You're well equipped and have excellent morale. enter the scenario. An enemy raid! At my abrupt snarl, Machina throws herself flat to the ground. They have ambushed you. Your position is pinned down by machine gun fire. Don't raise your head an inch. Keep that chin nuzzling in the ground and crawl along the ground to the trench visible ahead. Which is instructed, Machina creeps along the floor on her knees and elbows, clutching an imaginary rifle. Is Sachi still here? Feels like Sachi might still be here based on the previous discussion. I guess we'll see. A moment later, she slipped her body into the space in between the bed and the table. As Machina screams this report, she repositions an imaginary iron helmet on her head in order to regain a clear field of vision. Not half bad. She seems to be pretty deeply into the scenario. Incoming from the enemy position, M69. Assume the explosive defense position. Oh my goodness. Machina probably plugs both her ears, opens her mouth wide, and strongly presses down her eyelids. Lowering her body as close to the ground as she can, she melts her body with the trench. Tensing in preparation for the blast. Kaboom! You damn fool! Your rear end sticking up in the air. Shrapnel has just robbed your left buttock. Get it down. Get that ass down. I vigorously trampled down on Machina's rear end to emphasize the point. Basic grenade technique is to throw at 2-second intervals. Next one's coming. Assume the explosive defense position. Okay. Kaboom! Just your typical early morning anti-explosive training. If you think of it as an expression of diligent devotion to national defense, doesn't this almost bring tears to your eye? You're welcome to join in, Michiru. What do you fucking think? As you know, Machina happened to be on the scene of a terror bombing yesterday afternoon. Accordingly, we're training to deal with similar scenarios. There's no downside to acquiring as many survival skills as you can. Well, I thought a silly over-the-top game might briefly get Machina's mind off the fact that her little sister's fighting for her life, but... yeah, let's say that out loud. Sorry about that, Machina. Michiru says we're being too noisy. So, it seems like we'll have to call this training off. Maybe nothing but an instant safety drill, but if the local civilian populace can't be convinced, we have no choice but to discontinue it. Please understand, Machina. I already offered. Well, I mean, I do understand what you're trying to say, Michiru. In reality, the odds of any one person encountering a dangerous explosion in their lifetime are probably fairly low. It's more like this training will end up being meaningless. But worst comes to worst, won't people who wasted a few minutes planning for the what-ifs be the ones who get out alive? You know, assuming they actually remember it. There is some training you can do that it would be helpful to know, but it could be years and years down the line that you do it again. And when it actually matters, who knows if your reactions will actually react in that way. Isn't that what survival skills are? You know, even if you remember it. And you might not remember it, period. For example, Michiru, let's say you take a vacation abroad to a country where the fire laws aren't well defined or enforced. Which is a thing. As you're gobbling down a tasty local delicacy, a fire breaks out in a crowded restaurant. As panicked customers stampede to push their way through the single doorway, you glance upward and notice the flame slowly reaching their way to a cylinder of propane gas. What do? Think fast. Well, this is the difference between a person who's been trained and a helpless spectator. I wonder why. I'm sure most of this is going in one ear, not the other. You're probably not even taking me seriously. But even so, there's something I feel obligated to tell you. Those who laugh at the diligent self-improvement of others will end up crying in the end, without fail. Try to remember that. Probably. There's absolutely no shame in being wrong. There's absolutely no shame in not knowing something. Simply ask questions if you need to ask, and admit you're wrong and fix things when you are wrong.
人生をやり直すのに遅いなんてことはないのよさ。
Makina, you're doing something wrong.
今すぐ正していけば全然間に合うんだよ。だってチルチルはまだ生きているんだから。なんかちょっといいこと言ってる風じゃない。まさか解かれた。マキナに人生を解かれたというの。この私は。
In conclusion, it doesn't matter if you approach this as a kind of game. Remembering the basic principles somewhere in the corner of your mind is good enough. Why not join our anti-explosive training, Michiru? Haha, peer pressure has worked.
すげえ。チルチルにうんって言わせちゃったのよさ。この男、口先だけで完全に一人の女を丸め込んじゃったよ。やっぱパパはすげえのな。
Oh, don't worry, Makina. You helped. You're gonna be my little wing woman. Didn't we just go over this? Even if you think stuff like that, don't actually say it.
私騙されてる？騙されてないよね。
No, I'm just being persuasive. Michiru, my friend, think this over carefully. I have no reason to deceive you. Even if I did, hypothetically, it would be a result of my concern for your well-being. You understand?
すげえ。この男すげえ。
When we use the phrase sweet talking, the nuance is usually fairly negative. You tend to imagine someone coaxing an innocent through insincere lip service, but there's nothing inherently wrong about persuasion. For example, if I sweet talk Michiru into re-examining her values, I've peacefully brought her around to my way of thinking. Isn't that an admirable alternative to conflict? Granted, it's hard to feel too self-satisfied about this particular outcome.
尻の位置が高い。破片でケツ吹き飛ばされるぞ。ケツだけ先に故郷に返す気か、貴様。こら。
Just the ass. Just take the butt, put it in a box, send it back home.
すいません。
Oh god. Was this really just an excuse for Makina to pick on Michiru?
すいません、アルカボケ。返事はレンジャーだと教えたばっかりだろが、貴様。レンジャー。
This is awful. It's just too much. Michiru presses herself flat to the earth in the explosive defense position. Makina mashes a heel down onto her posterior, snarling viciously. You can feel a slight glimmer of conscience in the girl. At least removed her boot. She removed her boot first. But seriously, why did she even pick up this demon marine drill instructor routine? Is it? She's impressively proficient. She is impressively proficient at the verbal abuse. I know Yuuji tends to do that with Makina, but not that bad. What's up?
なんだじゃないわよ。あんたたちが普段やってるレンジャーごっこっていつもこんなことやってるわけ？
I wouldn't say always, but in general we engage in roughly similar activities.
ごっこでしょ？ごっこよね。なんであの子こんなに本気なわけ？
Harsh training's a good thing. When you're actually in the field, isn't the thought that drill instructor put me through worse than this kind of reassuring? Approaching your drills like battle, and battle like your drills.
それ間違ってない。だって私たち学生よ。
There's nothing wrong with the theory. If anything's wrong about the scenario, wouldn't it be the way you swallowed my crap, hook, line, and sinker?
やっぱり騙されてた。
Oh my.
どうした早速泣き言か。よーし気合を入れ直してやる。鏡跳躍30回。よーい。鏡跳躍？頭の後ろで手を組んで片膝立てて右足左足って交互にジャンピングスクワットするのよさ。私が横でやるから真似するのよ。はい、鏡跳躍よーい。はい、
I feel like I just heard something break.
貴様！何膝をパキパキ鳴らしておるか！それにもっと高く飛べ！はい！だから膝を鳴らすなよ！もう！しか
I don't think rattling knees honestly matter much either way, but busting your balls over any arbitrary little thing they can find is a drill instructor's job. The girl seems oddly professional about this, down to the strangest little details. I have to admit, this might feel a little too realistic for a game. Hey, Machina, your cell phone seems to be ringing. I wonder indeed. Machina takes out her phone from her pocket and checks the caller ID screen, but... What's wrong? Aren't you going to answer that? With those words, Machina draws off towards a nearby bicycle parking space, her phone still buzzing away. When it comes to people calling Machina's cell phone, So Amane would be the far most likely possibility, followed by Komine Saje. But if the call was from either of them, she'd hardly need to be secretive about it. This doesn't sound like knees rattling. This sounds like her bones are breaking. Hey there, Michiru. You can stop now. Sorry about dragging you into the game. That's so. Well, good for you. Your knees. Michiru's knees rattle violently as she continues her vigorous leaps. Depending on how you look at it, the strange smile on her face could be seen as the delirious expression of a soldier fallen prey to self-destructive despair. Despair! Whatever. This is pretty heavy exercise given the heat, so I suppose a bit of temporary lunacy isn't surprising. Heat and exhaustion often make people go a little off in the head. However, this person in question usually doesn't realize it. Asako once told me a story about a time when she'd been shipped off to a war in South America. An unending heat wave, combined with enemy bombs that came like clockwork every day, had worn down her nerves to the point of numbness. Eventually, the company commander was wounded in action, and a new first lieutenant had arrived from the rear to manage to take over. He was apparently a very timid man, prone to trembling in his trench when the bombs began to fall. Asako found his shaking so hilarious that she spent the entire duration of the attack cackling uproariously. The lieutenant interpreted this as a sign of derangement and promptly had her shipped back home. Was it abnormal? What's normal? Depends entirely on your circumstances and perspective. Granted, I'm tempted to interpret Michiru's current actions as evidence that she's lost it, but to Michiru, this course of action might seem like the most reasonable thing in the world. But just as I'm pondering this possibility, the girl suddenly stops moving entirely. You okay? Squatting down, she wraps her arms around her knees and begins to mutter indistinctly at the ground. Given this heat and her clear physical exhaustion, it's possible that her brain's just melting in a stew of lactic acid.
Papa!
You okay, No. Fuck, two things I need to deal with at the moment. Oh, hey Magina, what's up? Who was that? Grandpa would be? Interesting. The former head of the Risu family. And what do you have to say? I assume you're going to tell me, yeah? I see. Well, in that case, let's head somewhere a little bit more private. Actually, hold on just 1 second. Mind if I ask you a quick question before we go, Magina? What does the word appose signify? I don't know, you don't seem particularly worried about it yourself. I mean, she's laughing, right? Oh, yeah. Well, what do you know? Michiru seems to have botched the landing and twisted her ankle. The heat and fatigue have clearly done a number on the girl. She laughs hysterically, as though confusing pain with pleasure. Well, what to do? Maybe she really is in him. For the moment, Maki and I surround the girl at a distance and poke her with a stick. Fortunately enough, Sachi happens to pass by a moment later. After we explain the situation, she says leave it to me, and leaves the courtyard at a trot. Assuming the maid had run off to call an ambulance or something of the sort, we wait by Michiru's side offering encouraging words. This continues for about 15 minutes or so. At long last, Sachi returns in a pristine white maid uniform, cheerfully singing wee woo, and proceeds to nimbly snap together a folding aluminum stretcher. She really just needs to change. She changed clothes first. I'm certain we're all thinking it, but nobody dares to actually voice the words. In any case, Maki and I go with the flow and entrust Michiru to her new nurse's enthusiastic care. Then offer our brave colleague a deeply sincere salute as she's rolled off on the wheeled stretcher like a cylinder of propane on a cart. So, are you willing to tell me about that call then?
っていうか、パパには聞いてほしいのよさ。
I can guess what it is. I've basically been guessing this for forever and a half. I'll listen.
はい、マキナです。
おう、マキナか。久しぶりだな。
I wonder why.
はい、おじいちゃま、お久しぶりです。でも、どうして急に？
You can probably guess. Well, it's either going to go in the direction of wanting her to take over being the heir, or just a warning that people are out for her in the same way they were out for her sister.
すまんがマキナ、もう少し大きな声で。私ももう年でな。耳がよう聞こえ。
The person on the other end of the line was Makina's grandfather. The call had been placed directly by Irisu Haruchika, the man who left the Irisu clan before its retirement.
お前ももう知っとるとは思うが、サリナが事故にあった。
あれは事故なんかじゃないよ。
事故なんだよ、マキナ。あれは不幸な事故だ。わかるか？
Okay, I can feel where this is going.
借りたくもないよ。
マキナよ、どうだ？そろそろ家に帰ってこんか？
今さらだよ、おじいちゃま。何を今さら言い出すんだよ。
そう怒るな。私がお前の見舞いに行かなかったのにも、それなりの理由があってだな。
Yeah, I'm guessing those aren't really reasons positive for Makina.
それに、私はお前が退院したことも、先日まで知らされておらんかった。
So, all this time, how long has it been? Years? You thought she was just in the hospital? And continued to be in the hospital? And you just had your reasons? This sounds like complete bullshit, but okay. He might not be lying, but it sounds like it's being phrased in a very specific way. A faction within the branch house afraid of Makina's potential return must have deliberately prevented that information from reaching him. Okay. However, when a hefty check of 70 million yen was issued in Makina's name, an inquiry from the bank found its way directly to her grandfather. Only then did he learn that Makina had been released some time before.
私は、お前が未だに廃人状態のまま、長期入院していると聞かされていたんだ。退院したのなら、なぜ顔を見せに来ない？
Makina struggled to find an answer to her grandfather's question.
正隆君のことを、まだ気にしておるのか？
Oh god, stop saying these are accidents.
あれは事故だったんだ。
Who would actually believe that? Her father, the person she loved more than anybody else in the world, was gone. All that was left was her nasty, high-strung mother, her grandmother, who used to stare at her with cold eyes as someone contemplating a broken toy, her kind but willful, blind grandfather, utterly unreliable when push came to shove. Oh, okay, so it was accidents, definitely accidents. And the servants who suffocated her spirits, justifying everything with the words, "I'm afraid these were my instructions." At a glance, that house offered everything a person could possibly want, but it was just a hollow shell full of hollow people, a gilded prison. It was the sort of place where saying, "I want to learn how to ride a bike" would result in someone buying you a purebred horse you hadn't even asked for. I'm guessing that must have actually happened. What was there to miss about a home like that?
おじいちゃま、私はもうあの家には戻りたくない。
Well, they can't exactly force her. Oh, she is still a minor, isn't she? I can definitely force her to come back to the house. I can't force her to take over. I can't. I mean, they could kill her. If she refuses. If she refuses, then killing her would probably be the easiest way to ensure that there's no potential future down the road issues. Oh, fuck. Fuck. I mean, they could force her to come back. They can't force her to take over. That's the important part. They no doubt take good care of her if she returned, but only because they valued her as an asset or respected her position. Nobody there would even try to understand Machina herself. Some might say, somewhat. Sounds like a pretty good deal. And maybe they wouldn't be wrong. Others might say, you ran away from home, but you're still going to school on your own family's money, living completely freely. What right do you have to complain? Man, she really can argue the point. But even so, just thinking about returning to the house made Machina's eyes fill with tears. Everything that was precious to her. Everything she needed to be herself. Her individuality, her personality, all such inconvenient baggage would be ruthlessly thrown away. Money and power warp people beyond recognition. Machina knew that all too well. She's simply afraid of that house.
お前の気持ちはわかる。背負うものの大きさを考えれば、誰もができる仕事ではなかろうし、それが恐ろしくもあろう。
And that's not actually what she's thinking. Interesting.
だが、それゆえに、お前にしかできん仕事でもあるということだ。
Huh. So what will you do if she refuses?
戻ってこい。
What will you?
マキナ。
What will you do if she refuses? Because, I mean, you could technically force her, but you probably should have ensured she was willing before the fact, yeah? This is basically feel like it's going exactly how I predicted, in terms of they got rid of her sister because of whatever reason. I'm sure we'll figure out later. My guess could be right, my guess could be wrong from before. And now they want Machina to come back. Not really, I'm guessing the grandfather figured out and was like, fuck that. Let's do all this and get her to come back. Maybe that's the actual reason. Maybe the mother and grandmother really don't care.
嫌だよ、おじいちゃま。マキナはもう昔のマキナじゃないのよさ。
マジでか。
マジだよ。おじいちゃま、ごめんね。もう嫌なの。耐えられないのよさ。
そうか。しかし、そうは言っても、だ。まあ、そうだな。すぐに戻れとは言わん。しばらく考えてみたらどうだ?
For her answer not to be accepted. What other options do they have? I know they, like I said, they can force her, but
1年後の自分、10年後の自分、そして30年後の自分がどうなっているかをよーく考えて、それから
多分おじいちゃまはっていうか宗家の人たちは私のこと諦めてないと思う。もしかしたら今回の爆破事件だって私を家に戻すために宗家の人たちが起こしたのかもしれない。
I wonder what happened. But if they had screwed up even slightly, you could have gotten blown away too. So were they doing it on purpose to put her in a situation? Or like they tried to make sure she was in the vicinity to make sure that she'd see it happen, so she knew the situation and she knew what would happen if she refused? Because I'm getting the feeling that feels like what's being threatened here. It's not completely obvious, but it feels like it.
もし事件を起こしたのが宗家の人たちなら、私があの場に居合わせたのは本当に想定外のことで、相当慌てたと思う。
I could have known. I really doubt they're not keeping tabs on you. I don't really follow all this business with the main family and branch family. At the end of the day, what is their objective here?
結局のところ、これは宗家と分家のお家騒動なのよさ。宗家筋直系の私と分家の代表の妹、どっちが入り助を継ぐかの争いで、あの人たちの目的は、お金と権力。
Aren't both of you the daughters of the current head? I know one is connected to that, and wasn't your father an outsider? I'm not really familiar with the exact details, but I understand the scale of the prize we're talking about here. The Urisu family's long-standing assets extend to countless subsidiaries, both foreign and domestic. We're not just prominent in industrial manufacturing, financial, and retail, but also major players in iron and steel, shipbuilding, and even armaments. The money flowing through the Urisu apparently rivals the budget of a small country. A pencil made by the Urisu scratches down your name on the birth certificate in a government office. You eat food imported by the Urisu in your school cafeteria as you grow. In time, you find employment in enterprise under the Urisu umbrella. When you grow sick, you're taken to an Urisu hospital, and when you die, you rest under a gravestone manufactured by the Urisu. If you're born in Japan, it's all but impossible not to interact with family in some way. But despite this astonishingly wide influence, the name Urisu itself will probably get you a blank stare as often as not. The brands in their conglomerate include many household names, but the parent company itself is fairly obscure. They say those with real power don't tend to advertise it, like the old nobility hidden up in the clouds. And Urisu Makina, who stands to inherit the seat at that very top of the lofty house, is still in her teens, practically a child. Who could blame the girl if she panicked in the face of that burden? She ran away and tried to hide. Your grandfather said you don't have to come back immediately, didn't he? In that case, it seems to me that you should start by mulling this over. First of all, whether you're going to return to your family or not. And once that's settled, figure out what you're going to do when you return. Or what you're going to do when you refuse. What you really want to do from now on. Your grandpa gave you the chance to deliberate about this, right?
そうだけど、でもおじいちゃまだっていつまでも待っていてくれるわけじゃないと思うのよ。
Not a problem. I'll get you as much time as you need.
どうやって？
That depends on how they want to play it. I haven't settled any specific plans yet, but I'm ready to do anything I need to.
なんても？
That's right. Don't you remember? I made you a promise. Makina, even if everyone else in the world became your enemy, I'd protect you. Those words weren't just for show. I really will do whatever I possibly can. You don't need to worry about a thing. Just go about your normal life, exactly as you have.
でも、
Don't worry. You've given me fair compensation for my services. There's nothing to feel guilty about. You're all important enough to me that I was willing to make that promise. Hell, at this point, you've become my purpose in life. I'm living for your sake, and I'll probably die for your sake. I've been prepared for that from the start. In conclusion, there's no problem here. I'll kick the crap out of every last jackass stupid enough to harass you. You just sit back and see what a man who's found something to protect can do.
いいの？それでいいの？
I'm your father, remember? Showing off in front of our kids like this is what we do. There's nothing a father doesn't know. No problem he can't overcome. In other words, relax and think this over carefully. Whatever your choice, I'll accept it absolutely, and I'll support you with everything I've got.
Papa!
Overcome with emotion, even beginning to sob a little, Makina ducks her upper body low to the ground and rushes forward. A split second later, her forehead smacks into my solar plexus with a solid thunk. To be perfectly honest, the impact's so sharp it's difficult to even breathe properly. But sinking to my knees here would hardly help me keep the girl's hard-won trust. With an extremely strained attempt at a smile, I grab hold of Makina's fuzzy little head and squeeze her tightly against my chest. Strongly, very strongly, in the protective bear hug of a reliable parent. After that day, I've attempted to stay close to Makina's side as much as possible. I sincerely doubt there'd be many idiots reckless enough to try and pull anything inside this school. Essentially a stronghold of the Sakaki family, but preparing for that long shot what if is my job. Fortunately, I've been trained in guarding someone without even allowing them to realize they're being protected. The only real problem is night. Without a doubt, human beings are most defenseless when they're sleeping. It's the ideal timing for a raid or a kidnapping attempt. And even I'm not capable of staying awake constantly to protect the girl as she sleeps. As the single simplest countermeasure, it would be ideal if I could arrange to spend my nights with Machina, but...
今日からパパの部屋でパパと一緒に寝てもいいかな。
I assume we've explained the situation and exactly why it's happening. You know what, Amane, why don't you come sleep in the room too? Caught off guard by this admittedly rather abrupt inquiry, Amane stares off intently into Machina's face for a long moment, then turns her laser-like gaze on me. Machina's expression is unusually serious, with no hints of the standard messing around. And although this would usually be the part where I deliver a karate chop to that well-positioned head of hers, I simply stand quietly behind the girl without raising any objection. Apparently Amane senses something strange in the air, and she lets out a long, soft sigh, then nods deeply to herself.
マキナ、あんた自分が何を言っているか、あんたが決めたのなら、私は何も言わない。でも、一度決めたのなら、ちゃんと最後まで頑張るのよ。怖かったり痛かったりしても、途中でやめてって言っちゃダメよ。永遠に続く夜なんてない。必ず朝は来るから、頑張るのよ。
How much does she know? I haven't elaborated if we told her.
頑張るけど。
ユージも、マキナが痛がってたり苦しんでたりしたら、自分の都合ばっかりじゃなく、マキナのこともちゃんと考えてあげなきゃダメよ。
I'm pretty sure I'm past that point of being a problem. Well, yeah, that's the plan.
それと、ちゃんと否認はするのよ。コンドーム、持ってる？
Please be, you're joking, right? You understand what's going on, right? Okay, Mane, let me return that question from a moment ago. Do you have any idea what you're saying? Well, it doesn't cut it, woman. Although it seems like there may have been a slight discrepancy in our understanding of the situation, it was agreed that Machina would spend her nights in my room. Regrettably, my room only has one bed, and it's a single. Why can't we just bring another bed in here? There seem to be empty rooms, right? It wouldn't be so bad as to huddle together for warmth in the winter, but at this time of the year, the idea is not particularly appealing. Yielding the bed to Machina, I spread out a mat and sleeping bag on the floor for myself.
一緒に寝てはくれないのね。
A little hot for that, don't you think? At my old school, 10 at night was lights out time. And by 11, they'd cut the electricity to the dorm off entirely. Even the air conditioner went dead. In other words, I'm fairly accustomed to sleeping under hot and stuffy conditions, but there's hardly any need to go out of my way to recreate the experience. And also, if by any chance someone really did attack, we'd be better off sleeping in different points in the room. Attack Team A probably leads off by knocking at the door. Just as I'm getting up to reach for the knob, they blast the lock, upper, lower, hinges with simultaneous shotgun fire. As I flinch backward reflexively, Team B crashes through the window on the opposite side of the room and pinches us both. Doubt I'd be able to hold them off for even 3 minutes. Compared to me and Machina huddling together in one bed where we can easily be encircled, dispersing ourselves onto the bed and floor expands the area that has to be targeted, giving us more options. Alright, time to sleep. Get in bed. Mumbling her approval listlessly, Machina turns around to face away from me, then abruptly begins to pulling off her clothes on the spot. After stripping down to her underpants, she takes a big t-shirt, gone all loose at the collar, presumably a hand-me-down from Amane, pulls it over her head as sleepwear. Might be a t-shirt to Amane, but on Machina, it's a one-piece dress. Damn. Resisting a sudden urge to smile, I open my window and drape the towel I use after my shower outside to dry. I carefully position the towel just low enough to hide the bed Machina's crawled into almost completely, and deliberately leave the curtains open. For anyone out there interested in observing this room, a strip of fabric will present a simple hindrance. If the bath towel's position shifts even slightly overnight, it would suggest the existence of someone looking inside. The degree and direction of the movement could even help us determine the point from which they've been observing us. Basic tricks like this won't often accomplish much against a professional, but a multitude of small insurance policies is the best way to keep things safe and quiet. I'm turning off the lights. A sliver of pale light streams into the room from the street lights outside. There's no sound but the chirping of insects. Some are far away. and the cicadas are still singing. The bright city and warm concrete might have caused them to confuse day with night. I yawn inside my sleeping bag. I'm feeling dull fatigue slowly spreading out from behind my eyes. Going to bed in an hour like this should mean I'll wake up briefly around 2:30 in the morning. Yeah, I'll check up on Magina, then go back to sleep for a few hours.
ねえパパ
What's up?
何かお話しして
I can. Yeah, something specific in
パ
mind.
パは将来なりたいものとかある
Someone of value. Seems like the most accurate answer at the moment. Something you want to be, huh? Well, maybe not someone of value. There's probably a better way of phrasing it, but it's pretty clear at this point what he really wants for the future. I think this is the first time she's asked me about my future rather than my past. Putting aside the question of whether I even have one, it's not like I haven't daydreamed about it every once in a while. But even so, there's a collar on my neck that isn't coming off till I'm dead. Taking that into consideration, the number of paths realistically open to me are, well, severely limited. Let's see. Guess I see myself ending up as a taxi driver, maybe. It's a classic choice for our employees. While spending most of your time working for a private taxi company, you get a minor allowance of 150,000 yen a month as a reserve member, ready to be called up when needed. The jobs open to an employee on reserve aren't strictly limited, but ideally you'd want a position where you can respond quickly to an emergency summons. And from that perspective, a taxi driver is probably the best option. How about you, Magina? You have any ideas about the future? You have any ideas about the future? You don't have to think about the thing with your family. I'm just asking about your dreams.
将来なんて考えたことがなかったのよ
I thought you wanted to be a sniper and a baker.
さただもう実家には戻りたくないって自分が何をやりたいとか自分には何ができるんだろうこのままずっとこの学園にいたいってずっと優しい人と一緒にいたいって漠然とそんな風に考えていたけど
Funny. Didn't Michiru want something sort of similar? I wonder if it would be possible.
そんなの許されないよね
Maybe. You probably do have the... Well, let's see. 70 million yen. No, you definitely couldn't. That's like... Let's see... 1,000 would be like $10, so take away 2 zeros. And... $700,000. Yeah, you could probably live off that relatively comfortably. Not in this dorm, though. Not for everyone in this dorm, though. Well, we're going to graduate eventually.
でもね最近はね少し考えるようになったのよ
Oh. Mind letting me hear your, thoughts?
あのね私今パン屋さんで修行してるでしょそんでねいつかお金を貯めてパン屋さんを始めるのよさ
That's right. She did say something about a sniper or a baker, didn't she?
そのパン屋さんはね海のそばにあって喫茶店みたいになってて焼きたてのパンをお店で食べられるのよ
And in the afternoon, you could go up on the roof and, shoot people on the beach? How would you fold sniper into that? I'm just thinking.
でね美浜を卒業した後もみんなが気楽に来れるお店にしたいのよさ
That would be nice.
そうすればみんないつだって会えるのよ
That would be nice. That would definitely be nice. It's admirable, at the very least. There's an idea. If you had a bakery like that, I could stop by in my taxi to hang out.
もうパパには私と一緒にお店をやってほしいのよさ
I'd have to be a part-timer. What? I'm part of this too.
そう私がパンを焼くからパパはコーヒーとか紅茶を入れる人
I see. Yeah. I guess that kind of life wouldn't be half bad either.
だろきっと毎日が楽しいのよずっとずっと楽しいのよ
Yeah. Almost like a dream. I don't know exactly what kind of life Makina's lived up until now. But I do know a little about the Arisu. A family of immense power that stays behind the scenes, constantly maneuvering deep below the surface of society. I know Makina didn't ask for the role they forced onto her shoulders. Even as a child, she sensed something strange about the world she lived in, so clearly different from that of others her age. And in time, she came directly into contact with the foul corruption inside her own family. The corruption claimed her father, the only person in the Riso household who really loved her, and she hadn't had a real ally since then. Yeah. Even that small goal of opening a bakery, hardly the wildest of ambitions, must seem like a faint and distant dream to Makina. You know, with like 700, you could open one. You could definitely open one. Makina's hopes for the future had stayed hidden away deep inside for some time. Maybe speaking them out loud provided something in the way of catharsis. The girl's already snoring softly into her pillow. If my child has dreams, I won't spare any effort to help make them happen. That's my role now. The problem is Makina's grandfather. The girls told him that she isn't going to return, but I can't imagine he'll accept that answer. Makina wants nothing to do with the Arisu clan anymore, but simply declaring that won't bring this to an end. Even if we did manage to win over her grandfather, the Arisu aren't a small enough organization to be swayed by the will of one soft-hearted individual. It was too late at the moment the old man learned she was in good health. Makina would be dragged into a power struggle, whether or not she wants any part of it. There's no room, and there's no longer any room for doubt. So, is this technically my fault? Since I took out the money? I mean, couldn't I just like take out the money a little bit at a time instead of doing one big... I suppose. She did just write the check and I can't really tell her. Okay, now do it in small increments. Hindsight's 20/20, I suppose. Even if I make the whole world my enemy, huh? I've gone a little overboard with that one. But there are some things a man has to do. I've made my decision, and I'll carry it out. Even if that means tearing the chains off my neck and becoming a stray. I think this job might be the reason why I'm here. And in that light, it feels as though my life might have some small meaning of its own. Let's see if I fail at it. I have a feeling that it might not end well. The next morning, I wake up drenched in sweat. Not that anything was out of the ordinary, just a usual nightmare. As planned, I woke up at 2:30 to check up on Makina. The girl was still out like a light, drooling onto an already filthy pillow. All well and good. But when I tried to go back to sleep, I found my nerves were badly on edge. Although I kept my eyes shut and turned around in my sleeping bag many times, I couldn't manage to get much rest. When I did nod off into a light slumber, I spent maybe 15 minutes in the nightmare, then jerk awake again. The pattern played out again and again, straight through morning. Just how long will it take before I can forget that day? It's pretty easy to assume what day that is. The memory's glued in place, never fading no matter how many years pass. I can even remember the dull sensation of the weapon against my palm. As I wipe beads of sticky sweat from my forehead with the back of one of my hands, my half-open eyelids twitch at the touch of summer sunlight. The light pouring in through the window is already intense, suggesting another blazing hot day to come. This is no good. My heart's breathing doesn't settle down. I can't get back into my normal rhythm. This heavy, irritating feeling, as though I've got some malevolent spirit squatting in my back, lingers on and on. Suddenly realizing my throat's painfully dry, force my leaden body up off the ground and crawl out of my sleeping bag. I pour myself a glass of tap water and drink it, Water's so good. From the kitchen sink. And then another. And another. Yeah, one more. So good. I can't stop sweating. No matter how many times I wipe the salty liquid off my face, the beads keep trickling down. And the moment I realize they're actually tears, I sense someone gazing at me.
Papa, どうしたの？
Nothing's wrong. I was woken by the sound of the gushing faucet. Makina sitting up in the bed. Her eyes are still bleary with sleep. Her gaze is focused intently on me.
泣いてるの？
It's nothing. I'm just sweating. Rather than embarrassment at letting the girl see me crying, fear at having revealed my weakness takes precedence. Menaced by some vaguely defined shadow, overwhelmed by the need to escape, I hurriedly throw on my running clothes.
Papa?
Gonna go run for a while. Beyond pathetic. No matter how many years have passed, I'm still a gutless weakling, brought to tears by my dreams. I'm always running away from something. Always being chased by shadows. Even after my master took me in, this fundamental cowardice never really went away. I need to protect Makina. For her sake, of course. But also for mine. If I were to lose even her, I don't think I'd be able to get back on my feet again. I run into the muggy morning, as if fleeing from that frightening thought. Makina, are you really alright with this?
パパに奪ってほしいのよ。
Wait, what? Wait, what? Very well then. Papa will now rob you of your virginity. Oh god, I just said that. Oh god, I feel I might want to puke.
どんどん奪っちゃって。
Yeah, this seems realistic. Here we go.
これはシャレにならんのよさ。
Is this what Amane's thinking? I'm not done yet, you know.
いや、無理。これ以上は普通に避けちゃうし。ごめんなさい。今日はもうギブってことで。
What the fuck? Let me explain something to you, Makina. When a man sets his mind on something, he can't just casually reverse course halfway through. You understand?
そりゃ、わかるけど。
Oh my goodness. Okay then, let's get back to it. It sounds like the bed's cracking. Huh, Makina? Wasn't that a figure of speech? Seems like you're literally tearing.
それこそおつまみチーズのごとく。
And having been ripped apart, Makina.
大事になっちゃいました。
At the very least, this is a dream. Whose dream is it, though? I wonder.
てな感じでマキナが2人に。
Oh, my head. Yeah. That was a particular hard one. What is fucking wrong with you, woman? When I returned from my run, I found Amane waiting for me in the lounge. From what she tells me, it seems Makina has been acting strangely. Early this morning, the girl visited Amane's room with a somewhat discouraged look on her face, and proceeded to sit around sighing heavily. Amane tried to talk to her, but she only answered in vague grunts and monosyllables. Speculating that things haven't gone well in bed last night, Amane searched for appropriate words of comfort, but when she looked back after taking her eyes off the girl for a brief moment, it seemed that Makina had begun vigorously kneading wheat flour dough in the kitchen, cheerfully singing an incomprehensible mystery song to herself. Puzzled at this rapid improvement in mood, Amane shrugged and went off to take a shower. But when she returned to her room, she found Makina curled up in the corner of her room, with her head in her hand, groaning miserably. Faced with these absurdly dramatic and seemingly random mood swings, Amane arrived at a bold hypothesis.
マキナは2人いる。これはそういうトリックなのかと。
If you say so. Alright, Amane, first of all, let's think this over rationally. Who would this trick be trying to deceive, and to what end?
いや、まあ別に私も本気で言ってるわけじゃないけどね。
Actually,
昨日の夜何かあったのかなってちょっと気になってさ。
this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. If we have two Makinas, we can send one to be with the family and one can stay here. If one's gonna be miserable no matter what, we can just make her be miserable even more and we can have one be happy. No, this is probably not a bad idea. Nothing worth mentioning. I do have a rough idea as to the root cause of Makina's unusual behavior. The girls had a heavy problem fall onto her out of nowhere, and it's not something she can carelessly discuss with her friends, but moping around in silence would only attract concern, making her feel even more awkward and miserable. so she forced herself to smile and sing in an attempt to lighten the mood, but soon enough, some careless thought abruptly reminded her of her worries. And once again, Makina ended up with her head in her hands, sighing and groaning over the problem she can't possibly resolve on her own. The one and only person she can really talk to about all this is me. Seeing tears on my face this morning must have worsened her emotional turmoil. Rather than running off in an inept attempt at hiding what happened, I should have sat down and talked to the girl honestly. Looking back on it now, I regret that choice.
それで結局昨夜は男女の性的な行為は営まれたのでしょうか
Well, hello to you too. I mean, why are you even here?
風見さんとマキちゃんが同衾するというお話を昨夜天音さんから聞き及びましては老婆心とでも申しましょうかマキちゃんの友人として安閑としてはいられようもなく結果の遺憾を本人の口から厳しく問いただそうかと思いまして
And is that me? Look, I don't know. Look, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but I didn't do anything I need to feel guilty about. Yeah, let's phrase it like that. Makina came to my room and slept in my bed, and I slept on the floor. That's it. Nothing else happened. Clear enough to you?
だからマキナなんか元気がなかったのね
No! You think she's down because no, oh my goodness.
風見さんあなたには失望しましたがっかりです
Sorry. Wait, why?
いいユージ女の子がね男の部屋に泊まるってのはそれはもうやって OK ってことなのよ
Can I hit you both? I just want to hit you both right now. I mean, just like the karate chop to the head that I do to Makinata, that sort of thing. Just like, you're being a dumbass. Stop being a dumbass. I really don't think that's a universal law. Personally, I've heard plenty of stories about women crashing in a male friend's place after missing the last train home, then awkwardly shooting the guy down when he tries to make a move.
抱かれる意を決しいつもより念入りにお風呂に入って抱えた枕で高鳴る胸の鼓動を隠しつつも
Have you been reading? Have you been reading Sakaki's books? I suppose that's more boy love, though. I guess maybe the guy just washing himself thoroughly, holding the pillow, heart racing, laying himself down, rear up. No.
いつでも抱きなさいと身構えていればあっさりすこれではマキちゃんの女としてのプライドがズタズタです
Okay, but what exactly are you telling me to do here?
マキナなら今私の部屋でパン焼いてるからそっと背中を抱きしめてマキナお前が欲しいって言えばいいのよ
Seriously, karate chop. Bam, bam. But look, what if she just shakes me off and yells, "Cut it out," or something? Now I'm the one nursing the bruised ego. Sulky women are troublesome beyond measure. The representative director of the Troublesome Women's Society, Madame JB, is the prototypical example. Not only will she shriek, "Cut it out," when you try to make amends, if you actually stop, she'll get even angrier. It's truly incomprehensible.
なんだかんだと大人ぶってはいても所詮はユージもお子ちゃまね
Oh, you don't.
全然わかってないわよ
None of you want to play this game with me. Just what I needed. Another pain in the ass.
いいツンデレが嫌と言った時は OK ってことなのよわかる押すなと言ったら押せそれがツンデレよ
You really want to test this theory, do you?
それはツンデレではなくリアクション芸人なのではないでしょうか
In the first place, Makina is not exactly a tsundere, right?
とにかく嫌って言ってても心の中じゃ
What?
もっとグイグイ来なさいよ嫌がってる私を無理やりねじ伏せてみなさいよってことなのよわかる
Well, sort of, I guess, maybe. What?
あなたたちまたこんなところで朝からたむろして今度は何の悪巧みをしているというの
Apparently the best method to take Makina's virginity.
いや別に悪巧みってわけじゃないわよマキナが昨夜はユージの部屋に泊まったってのに何もなかったって言うからまずはそれが本当か嘘かって話から始まってもし本当に何もなかったのなら何が原因なんだろうねってそんな感じ風見くん
Yes?
あなたの他人から誤解されやすい性格や同行した冗談を平気で口にする態度に軽微な問題はあったとしても
Yes, that does accurately describe me.
決して不誠実だとは思ってはいないし、私はこれでも一応あなたのことは節度のある人物だと認識しています。ですから正直に言いなさい。イリスさんを抱いたの？
We've talked about this already. Like I said, I didn't touch the girl. How many times do people expect me to explain this?
本当に何もしなく信用する。
You're so damn fucking noisy. Don't all go squawking at once.
お待たせ。パンが焼けたのよさ。ってみんなしてこんなとこ集まって何してんのよさ。
Oh, you're gonna find this hilarious. Don't ask me. Too much damn time on their hands, a lot of them.
なんかよくわかんないけど、みんなパン食べる？待望の新作 M8i2 なのよ。
Okay. Not gonna.
M8i2？
そう。M はメロンパンを表す形式記号で、8は8番目に作ったパンを表して、I は制作者のイニシャル、イリスの I。最後の2は改良番号。2回改良を受けましたよって意味なのよさ。
見た目は普通のメロンパンじゃない。何をどう改良したってのよ。
パンは焼くと膨らむでしょ。だから表面のクッキー生地とベースのパンの間に波形に型抜きしたパイ生地が挟んであるのよさ。メロンパンの命ともいえるかじりついた時のザクザク感を大事にしてみました。
Well, sort of like the wing of an airplane, structurally speaking.
そう、ヒントはそれ。錦体系の羽と同じ構造なのよさ。
No kidding. Well, you've clearly put some thought into this.
まあ、食ってみ。結構いけるのよさ。
I see. Layer of air between the surface and the main body really does emphasize the crispness of the cookie dough. Not half bad.
ハロー、みんなも食べて感想を聞かせてほしいのよさ。
どれどれ？あ、ほんとだ。なんか今までにはないメロンパン感覚。ふんわりザクザク？私これ結構好きかも。
Such a compliment.
でもなんかスカスカしてるわね。食べ応えが足りないんじゃない？
Perfect for the dieter.
そうね。でも温かい状態でアイスクリームと一緒に食べたら美味しいかもしれないわね。
Also perfect for the dieter.
やはり食べ応えが今後の課題なのよさ。早急に M8i3 の開発に着手せねば。
What, you've already got the next edition planned out?
パンと生地の間にイゲと組んで中にクリームをサンドするインテグラルタンク構造にしてみるのよさ。
So we're switching from the flying boat to the flying cigar, huh?
かじりついた瞬間にブビュッとクリームがはみ出る新構造。名付けてワンバイトオーバーフロー。これは売れる。食べにくいけど売れる。
Ease of eating's usually pretty important. Not sure if I follow the logic there, but yeah, passion for experimentation is a good thing. In a society defined by abundant plenty, something that's tasty but tricky to eat might distinguish itself as a high class precisely because of the slight inconvenience involved. The girl might not be too far off conceptually, I suppose. That's all well and good, but at this point Imani takes the conversation down a troubling new path.
ね、前から聞こう思うててんけど、なんでメロンパンなのに丸いん？丸いのはサンライズやん。
Oh, there's obviously some Japanese pun here that I don't get. Thanks to this very cryptic remark from our former Kanto resident, what the heck is a sunrise becomes the hot topic of the moment. Not that I particularly give a shit. Okay, so even Japanese people don't really get it. Oh, that makes me happy. Happier.
バイトに行ってくるのよさ。
Good. Give him out, kid. Before long, it's 8 o'clock, and Makina setting off for her shift at the bakery. Watching the girl march triumphantly out of the room, her prototype M8i2 safely stowed in a plastic bag, I nod deeply to myself. Alright then, guess I should get going as well.
あ か行くの？
Yeah, I'm working today myself. Even as I'm speaking, I quickly slip into one of my work uniforms, then swing a full bag of tools over my shoulder.
帰りは何時頃になるの？
Let's see. 5:30 or so, as long as nothing comes up.
そう。じゃあ、マキナと大体同じ時間だね。晩ご飯用意して待ってるから、遅くなるときは電話して。
Same as Machina, eh? What a coincidence. Will do. Alright then, I'll be on my way.
はい、行ってらっしゃい。
Suppose this so qualifies as a part-time job, but it's different from the normal routine. Today I'm working as Machina's bodyguard. I received a full 70 million advance payment on this one, so I can't exactly treat it like a game. That sort of money warrants a serious approach and a professional attitude. Stepping out of the school gate, I casually turn my head to glance in the direction of the shopping district, immediately spotting Machina in the distance. Is Yuuji really allowed to be using his work uniform for this? It's not exactly Ichigaya approved, yeah? And from my understanding, that's a typical almost like quote-unquote uniform for people in this position, right? So people might be confused. After confirming there aren't any suspicious cars stopped in the area, I start walking after her on the opposite side of the street. There'd hardly be any point in tagging right along after the girl. Easier and less conspicuous just to walk down the station to the station in the first place. But I do have my reasons for taking a more furtive approach. First of all, I don't want Machina to be aware I'm guarding her. If she knows I'm protecting her, that knowledge would start to influence her actions in revealing ways. Even if I told her to try and act normally, an awkward movement would give it away sooner or later, tipping off anyone who might be observing. If the enemy realizes Machina has a bodyguard, they'll change their tactics accordingly. That wouldn't be much fun from my perspective. The ideal is to keep both Machina and anyone targeting her ignorant of my presence. Therefore, after following her from a good distance for a while, I begin cutting quickly through side streets to get ahead of her. If I was targeting Machina, I'd spend 7 days, at the very least, on observation, trying to get a solid grasp for her daily patterns of behavior. Before making any attempt, I'd compile the most detailed possible data I could on her walking speed, route, and typical itinerary. Sniper, kidnapper, whatever, any pro would do the same. In fact, I spent some time this morning putting myself into the shoes of an assassin, narrowing down some potential sniping points. I devised and evaluated a few plausible spots, simulating attempts at shooting Machina on her way to and from the bakery, but as a target, the girl's genuinely troublesome. First of all, she's a shrimp, makes for a smaller target, more easily obstructed. Second, her actions are frequently hard to anticipate. If the girl comes across some hostess out walking a cute little doggy, she'll without a doubt stop dead and hold a lengthy conversation with the animal. On top of it all, there's a fundamentally whimsical personality she has. If she needs to make 3 turns for her destination, she'll randomly change the road she uses, so it's hard to nail down an exact route. Taking all those negatives into account, there are 2 spots that seem potentially effective. I take out a hand-drawn map from the pocket of my school uniform. There's a detailed sketch of the terrain within a decent radius of the station, with 2 points connecting hypothetical sniping spots and impact points. The first potentially effective choice is a shot from on top of the pedestrian bridge over the East Beach Line rail track, which provides a good view of the main shopping district. There's practically no cover to worry about, and the distance would only be about 300 meters. On top of that, you'd be hitting the girl from behind, making it easier to line up the shot. Problem is, you'd stand out too much. If you openly set up a shot with a rifle there, even a dim-witted grade schooler would point and yell, "Look, mommy, it's an assassin." Considering the risk of exposure, you'd probably have to snipe from under the canopy of a parked truck. But that'd limit your angle of fire severely, making it easy to lose track of the target in a crowd, not too appetizing. I do take a look just for safety's sake, but there doesn't seem to be any suspicious idling cars in the area marked suitable for sniping. Snipers need time to prepare, and it's not like they're going to tear up, fire a shot from the window, then peel up. Probably safe to conclude that no one's shooting from there today. But there's also the second possibility, a shot from the 8th floor of the parking garage south of the Mishima Cape station, next to the fashion building currently under construction. The structure itself isn't open to the public yet, so entry is restricted. In other words, once you slip in, you'll be able to spread out a pretty sizable shot without any awkward questions from passerby. Also, since it's a downward angle, you should get a clean line of sight. The target's short stature won't be nearly as much of an issue. However, a shot would require firing between two buildings obstructed by an elevated park and the Mishima Cape Station itself. No matter where you position yourself, you're not going to get even a 2-meter slice of visibility. What's more, you'd be firing at Machina from the side as she walks past, at a range of about 600 meters. If you take the time to identify the girl after she enters your field of view, she'll walk right past before you can get a bullet over there. In other words, you've got one chance, and it only lasts a few seconds. You can't see it working without a cooperator following the target, constantly keeping you up to date on her movements. Stopping just before the intersection that connects my side street to the main road, I peered down at the map in my hand, play acting a blue-collar worker new to the area. You know, what are the chances that Ichigai is going to call Yuuji up and say, "Hey, the Arisu wants to hire you to do this. You're in the area, right? Go be a sniper for us." And while glancing around as if to search for landmarks, I spot Machina approaching from the left. Keeping the brim of my plain worksman cap low over my eyes, I proceed to gaze in her general direction, not focusing on anything in particular. When you start deliberately darting your eyes around looking for suspicious people, you tend to get tunnel vision. Actually end up missing more than you would otherwise. On the other hand, when you take in the scene as a whole like you're appreciating a work of art, people moving in unusual ways will stand out as if painted in vivid hues. Right now, we're near the very tail end of the morning rush to work. There aren't many people in the streets. Among the sparse crowd, one man quickly catches my eye. He's strolling along behind Machina, shooting her regular glances while putting it off on a great show of casually looking around the area. Complete amateur. Any way you look at him. The tale's completely awful. I've seen love-struck middle schoolers stalking their crushes with more subtlety. What if it's a red herring, though? At a glance, the guy seems to be in his late 20s or early 30s. He's wearing a 3,000 yen pair of loafers and a 2 for 30,000 suit. He's also got a pair of eyeglasses with unusually thick black rims, perhaps an attempt at a disguise, but counterproductively, they make him stand out in the crowd. I can almost just leave this be. Not like he's going to get anything worthwhile. But even so, I'd like to know who this kid belongs to. Folding the map into a neat square and putting it away in my chest pocket, I casually step into nearby Busky Robinson ice cream store. Oh yeah. So, stalk this guy out.
8月12日午前8時15分対象者の追尾を開始記録者井原直哉
Is that his name? Muttering into the mic of the IC recorder set up inside of the pocket of his jacket, Ihara followed the girl from behind with his eyes. For crying out loud, why did it have to turn out like this? It had been a year and a half since Ihara resigned from his previous position in a security company and took a job at IGS Detective Agency through a friend's recommendation. Detective work had appealed strongly to Ihara since childhood. He did, of course, understand by now that a real flat-foot jobs wasn't the hard-boiled stuff from the stories. But changing the title of his business card from guard to investigator proved too tempting to pass up. However, even after 3 long months of training, he was relegated to sorting raw material, processing documents, and other desk work. And the rare field work that trickled down to him tended to be odd jobs like investigating adultery or searching for lost pets. He spent the better part of a year waiting unhappily for a chance to flex his muscles a little. Just as he was starting to feel something like regret at ditching the security guard position, a senior employee abruptly stopped by and said, "Chief wants to see you, get a move on, your clothes are fine as they are." Miyara's first reaction had been to tilt his head in confusion and try to remember if he screwed up anything lately. But the man leaned down and whispered, "Seems like you're getting a pretty important job." He'd honestly been pretty damn excited for the chance to get some real work, thrilled even, until he learned the important job amounted to stalking a little girl. More than a bit of a letdown. That said, this Risamagana kid, currently tromping along the sidewalk 8 meters or so ahead of him, was certainly keeping Ihara on his toes. The girl was constantly glancing around the area as she walked, and if something caught her eye, she'd often come to an abrupt and total halt. Keeping a constant distance was proving very difficult, and even worse, she seemed to have a habit of glancing briefly behind her every time she turned a corner, never failing to startle him. It almost seemed like she might just have a terrible sense of direction, That constantly moving gaze could be her memorizing the area. Turning around might be an attempt to imagine the trip back home ahead of time. But according to the documents, Risu Machina had been living in this city for nearly a year. It was hard to imagine getting lost would be a big issue at this point. Was she simply one of those ADHD kids? Or what? If you looked at her behavior as a deliberate act of caution, you could almost see her as a well-trained spy, but Mihara knew he was probably deluding himself on that one. Oh, this is probably the stuff Yuuji taught her, yeah? Just some part of him trying to make this more interesting than it really was. In reality, Risu Machina didn't project the fierce, predatory menace of a trained agent. If anything, she looked more like a nervous little chipmunk, fearful of everything around her. The girl had come to a sudden stop. She seemed to be peering into the LCD screen of a small electronic toy tied to her belt. Digimon time. Unless he was careful, Mihara was going to overtake her. He knew the girl's destination, so it would still be possible to resume surveillance even after passing her. But for now, he wanted to keep observing her from behind. Mihara slowed his pace a little, then reached into his inner jacket pocket and pretended to search for his cell phone. What are you doing? Hurry up and get walking! At this rate, he's going to walk right on by her. It would be hard to stay out of the target's field of vision much longer. At this point, maybe abandoning the surveillance outright would be best. It would be easy enough to take out his phone, check his mail, then abruptly turn around, as if called back in some urgent errand. What do I do? Time to call it a day? 5 meters from his target. Mihara decides to make up his mind, one way or the other, within the next 2 meters. But as he continued to slow approach, Risu Machina suddenly looked up from the toy at her waist, then broke into a pattering run. God damn it, she's completely unpredictable. What now, run after her? He knew the girl was headed to her bakery, so it probably wasn't strictly necessary. There wasn't much of a point in a surveillance mission if you couldn't keep her in sight. So, what do you achieve here? Huh? Oh, hey Yuuji. You know, if it actually wants to progress. There we go. Huh. Labor. Very sorry. Oh, you okay? The man bowed his head apologetically. Must have been looking at his map as he walked. Judging from his awkward Japanese, he probably wasn't from around here. Oh, I bet it's Yuuji. For some reason, there was a timid half smile on his face. When Mihara followed the man's gaze down, he couldn't help but shouting out loud. The breast of his suit was covered in thick globs of ice cream. No, this is Yuuji. When I took another look, Mihara realized the man was holding a half-eaten cone in his other hand. Looked like one of those pat pong shower numbers from the Busky Ramen place the kids were going to these days. Sorry, good vida, bayo. Speaking cryptic words in a remorseful tone of voice, the man started rubbing at Ihara's suit with his bare hands. Abani Darimanto? This is not good. Gathering this much attention on a tailing job was a huge blunder. While wandering off, the man persistently trying to clean his suit, Ihara hurriedly turned his head in search of Risu Machina, but the girl was already gone. At least he hadn't been outright discovered by the subject of his surveillance, but continuing to tail her after this would be very difficult. It'd probably be best to withdraw for the moment, then resume shadowing the girl after she finished at her part-time job. Oh, that's rude. The man visibly flinched at the word illegal. Finally abandoning his inept attempt at brushing off Ihara's clothing, he pulled his cap down even lower over his eyes. With this parting remark, the man in the work uniform beat a hasty retreat. He's committed to the role. Damn. Whatever the case, things just hadn't worked out today. Ihara reached inside his jacket to switch off his IC recorder, and in the next instant, he let out another reflexive shout. The slim metal recorder had been in his interior jacket pocket, was now gone. When Ihara moved his hand to his opposite pocket, the cell phone he left in there was also missing. God damn, how did he not notice that? I know they're like professionals to make you not notice it, but I feel like maybe it's just because I like keep my cell phone in my pants pocket and it's really flush up against my leg that I notice it all the time. Same with my wallet. It feels like it would be really obvious that that disappeared.
やられた
Pocket of his pants to discover even his wallet had vanished. He quickly spun around, but the suspicious foreign laborer had completely disappeared. Does Yuuji look foreign?
嘘だろ
It probably was just the words, yeah. Now Yukihara fought a powerful urge to lie down on the sidewalk and curl up into a ball. Die, 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 Makaroo. In a narrow, dim alleyway 2 streets removed from the station plaza, a laborer was sitting on a stack of beer cases and humming the Lightspeed General Makarov theme song to himself. His attention was focused on a certain wallet, the fruit of his days, a laborer's. There's 17,000 yen in bills inside. A small purse had another 657 in coins. Not a big haul by any means, but nothing to turn your nose up at. Inside the card sleeve, there's an ATM card from a bank, credit card, patient registration ticket from the dentist, and proof of membership at a video rental shop. I should use this. There's also a driver's license for a standard cars with a gold stripe. Other than that, we've got 20 convenience store coupons. Considering he's walking around with them, doesn't look like he's going. It doesn't look like these get used all too often. Methodical, but a little too much pride for his own good. The back of the dentist ticket revealed that its owner last visited only half a year ago. The man must have been going for regular checkups to have tartars scraped off, or what have you. Definitely the methodical type. Mihara Naoyuki-san, eh? Naturally, the back of the driver's license was unblemished by violations. It was a genuine gold license. The man snapped open a small aluminum case he'd wiped along with a wallet, finding the inside full of business cards. An IGS kid, huh? I see.
おい、そこで何をしている?
The man in the work uniform knew that voice out too well, and this wasn't the first time he'd been rendered half blind by that overly bright flashlight either. Softly clicking his tongue, got to his feet.
おいおい、風見さんよ。またあんたか。
I'm not doing anything suspicious.
いい加減にしてくれないか。
Oh, you don't think he reported it to the police, do you? That'd be awfully quick. It's not like I did anything this time, you know?
あんた、なんだその格好。ついに学校をクビになって就職でもしたのか?
It's the summer, right? I'm a working student. This is my uniform for my part-time job.
なんか怪しいな。あんた、こんなとこで何やってたんだい?
Not much. Happened to find a wall over there, so I was looking it over to see if I could return it to its owner.
本当に? あんたが吸ったんじゃないだろうね。
Rude. I would never do that. Oh, come on. I'm being a good Samaritan here, you know? Here, this is the wallet.
中身の金は残っているようだな。あんた、少し猫ばばしていたりしないだろうな。
You really don't like me. I'm not desperate enough to steal other people's money. I work for my food, as you can see.
そうか。いや、冗談だ。
Oh,
申し訳ない。
sure. More importantly, seemed like the owner had some business cards in there.
ああ、これか。何々? IGS 探偵社調査員伊原直之か。
A detective, huh? Guess from the contents of his wallet, it doesn't seem like that lucrative of a profession.
あんた、中身を見たのか?
Yeah, of course. That a crime now?
いや、そういうわけじゃないが。
IGS Detective Company. The Iizuka General Security Private Investigative Agency, right? Wasn't that the Iizuka Satoru guy who runs a Sakura Daemon alum?
詳しいな。
Alum. The name's pretty famous after all. Oh, but I did hear they dabble in some behind-the-scenes political jobs as well. Any truth to that?
知らんよ。とにかく、この財布は俺が預かっておく。一緒に交番まで来てくれ。
Wait, again? Your boss isn't going to be too happy if you drag me back in.
そうは言ってもな。習得者の氏名と連絡先を聞くのが手順だからな。
Why not just say you're the one who found it? Even if you write my name down, each guy is just going to have the paper torn up. You'd only be making trouble for yourself.
しかし。
Okay, here, give me that wallet for a minute.
どうするつもりだ?
I'm going to drop it on the ground. Then you're going to pick it up. That way you won't be falsifying your documents.
わかったよ。俺がここで拾ったことにすればいいんだろ?
So you're perfectly fine with falsifying it, okay. Well, why not at least pretend to pick it up?
はいはい。お、こんなところに財布が落ちているじゃないか。これでいいか。
Very much so, thank you. Good job. Oh, while we're at it, take these two.
携帯電話となんだこれは。
Unfortunately, somebody or other seems to have cleared the memory. They're just lying here with a wallet.
おい、本当にあんたが吸ったんじゃないだろうな。
Word of advice. Don't ask any more questions. I'm willing to bet your life's going to go a lot smoother that way.
確かにな。あんたけどな、風見さんよ。俺は犯罪を見て見ぬふりをするために警官になったわけじゃないぞ。
And I'm not saying you should. You have my word. I'm not looking to make you complicit in any evil doing on my part.
風見さんよ。あんた、本当に迷惑だな。
Human beings can't live without inconveniencing others.
まあいいさ。俺はここで財布を拾っただけだ。あんたにも会っていない。
Well, thank you.
それでいいんだな。
Thank you for looking the other way, despite it all. Well, that works. Speaking from experiences, people who know when to keep their mouth shut get ahead faster in life. You'll climb the ladder in no time.
嬉しかねえな。
Okay, I'll be going now.
あんまり仕事増やしてくれるなよ。次は本当に逮捕するぞ。
I'll watch my step. Starving highway robbers in war-torn countries will murder people for a single can of food. Comparatively speaking, a filched wallet is hardly worth whining about, right? Not that I'm dumb enough to voice the thought. When people are raised in different environments, they'll naturally look at the exact same things in very different ways. I'm not really complaining, but a peaceful way of life, not seeing things best left unseen, ignorant of the facts best left unknown, needs to be supported from the shadows. And that's the one and only reason anyone would bother keeping trash like me around. Okay. Oh, IGS Detective Agency, eh? Okay, so basically someone hired them. If they're dabbling in politics, almost definitely. Okay. It's a major one too, so it's probably just like more like a business than it is like what you traditionally think when you think of investigators. Because you typically think, oh, it's like a detective agency, you have like a detective and some assistants, and it's like the small little thing. Probably not like that at all. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave it. I will say, all this like stealthy reconnaissance stuff, it's actually a pretty interesting change of pace. It's a good way to change it up and keep it a lot more interesting, honestly. Other than that, I'll leave it there. I'll see you all next time. Drive safely, everyone.